The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles.
Hello, Charles. Now, look, the Melbourne International Comedy Festival is underway. You're doing a show. I know. I don't want to hear about that. What I want to hear about is someone who's taking on the system.
Oh, dear.
Someone who is sticking up their middle finger to the man, to the rich people, to probably the boomers, I'd guess, the landlord class, the billionaires, someone who tells it like it is. It's Matt Harvey. His show is called Wage Against the Machine. And, Matt, you've come up with an interesting business model for performing comedy in the challenging environment of 2024. Welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having me. Yes, I don't know how many billionaires turn up to our comedy festival.
They'll definitely come because they love a bargain. I've heard this about people like Frank Lowy. Clive Palmer.
If I know anything about the billionaire class, it's they will take Bezos was collecting what was it? It was a payment for people earning under $100,000 during the pandemic, and I feel like those guys and the people who really need it will be the first ones to grab a bargain, and it's all the middle class who all think they're too good for a bargain.
Yep,
they're like, no, I don't need it. I'm too good. I don't need your discount tickets. I can pay full price. It's fine. But if the extremely rich were to come to my show, they would take the discount ticket. They'd pay as little as they could.
So this is the thing, right? Explain to us how it works.
Okay, so you guys are probably aware Fringe Festival the Free Fringe runs alongside the Edinburgh Fringe in Edinburgh.
Yeah,
and so I think part of the reason that the Edinburgh Fringe is as big as it is because there's 4 or 5 fringes that run on this very same model where you show up to a show, you see the show, you decide how much you want to pay for the show. And so the Free Fringe, Just the Tonic, Monkey Barrel, they all sort of run on this same model. Is anyone can show up to the show and you just decide what you want to pay at the end of the show. And I will say, I've had people walk out because they didn't like the show, and that's fine because they felt no obligation to see the rest of the show, which means that I didn't have to look at their faces being like, well, this isn't for me the entire hour.
It's the most brutal form of review I've ever heard. Hey, can we just get paid for a sec? Just a moment. All right, there you go. Played an ad. So this is amazing because I got to say, I've rarely paid for comedy shows, particularly in Melbourne. I tend to get comps and I only go to the things that are free. Yeah. So I'm one of those jerks who...
You're the billionaire
I'm the
class.
Problem. Yeah, I'm the problem.
And even the comedy billionaire class.
Even then, there are shows that I've been like, I wish I could walk out of this.
This is too much.
It's free. Yeah. It's not worth the hour of my time.
So have you done it before? Like, is this the first year that you've done it?
I've done this. This is the first time I've done it in Melbourne.
Yeah, right.
But I've done 2 Edinburghs on the Free Fringe.
And does it work? Do you make
people are more willing to take a chance? Like they'll. So if you happen to do the Free Fringe, there is a booklet that has every single Free Fringe show in it. You hand that out as well as your flyers, and people know that every one of those shows you can just show up. Take a chance, even if you just want to chuck a couple of pence or a pound in the bucket at the end.
But Matt, aren't you the only person in Melbourne doing this model?
Right now, the only person.
But I'm saying, so there's no booklet. It's just Matt Harvey.
No.
Is free.
No, it's just me.
Everyone else pays.
It's just me trying the thing, hoping that it will work here, banking on the horribleness of our economy to draw people in to be like, well, at least this one. I can take a chance.
You know what?
They can.
You know what I would do? Because I think that the actual key to the economy at the moment is everyone's into shoplift, right?
Oh,
like it's all about the self checkouts. Yeah,
you need cameras. That's what you need. You need surveillance cameras of what people are paying.
What you need to do is price yourself high. Like I reckon, make it $50 a ticket, but make it possible for people to shoplift your tickets, and then people would love it. Like that's
they're fully on board.
That's the way.
Well, this is where I'm at. People are putting tickets at regular prices because venues are very expensive. I'm sure you're aware venues are very expensive, which drives up ticket prices, which means people are less likely to pay for a ticket, which means comedians then put tickets for free on promo ticks. The people who collect tickets at promo ticks pay $6 to get those promo ticks. Just give that $6 to me.
Oh,
Don't worry about promo
That's
ticks.
Good. That's
but wait a minute, don't you have to pay your venue?
My venue is very cheap. My venue is the cheapest venue I've
Did you steal your venue?
So
can you
I'll give you an example.
Can you do pay what I feel to the venue? Can you push the business model up the chain?
Well,
that'd be good.
I've been trying. I would love to build this up, and I would love to have it more frequent in Melbourne Comedy Festival, maybe next year or the year before if more comedians are interested in this sort of thing. But we need a venue who's willing to play ball. Because in Edinburgh, those venues are free. You get a free venue, you put your show on for free, and then people will make donations. And so nobody's losing any money. The venue gets bar sales and everybody sort of benefits from it because more comedy happens, more performances happen, more people get a chance to do a thing.
Is it a virtuous circle, or is it that austerity Britain is so terrible that that's the only way to get any traction is by making everything free?
No doubt.
And
no
basically
doubt that the free
begging.
fringe is a direct result of Margaret Thatcher. And that's the
love
one
that.
thing that we can thank her for.
And if she was there, if she came to the show, she would not only give you no money, but she'd give you a lecture after the show about how you're wasting your life in the arts. I hope that happens as well. That's it. Pay what you feel, say what you feel.
We'll resurrect the ghost of Thatcher every night.
So your show is called Wage Against the Machine. It's all about, poor people and being unemployed and not having enough money, right? Don't you think
to a degree
you should have come up with a topic that hits a sort of slightly richer audience if you're going to do the pay what it feels?
I'm just thinking, I think you've made some mistakes here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to give you a hard time.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I had someone come in the other night for the first Pay What You Feel show, and they paid me $50, and that's more than I would have charged them. I would have charged them 20.
Oh, actually, no. This is you're giving people the chance to be ostentatiously generous. That's brilliant.
Yes.
Here you go, sir. You need this more than me based on what I've just endured.
So was that a pity-based fee? Like,
If it was, I'll take it. I'll take all the fee-based fees that I can get.
I got to say, my thought was, and I don't want to stereotype Melbourne, I love Melbourne, but if you'd called it like an artisanal handcrafted show, if you'd mentioned, exclusive, maybe that you'd come up with this
kombucha.
You'd come up with the whole idea while on a retreat in the Himalayas or something. I don't know. Single origin, definitely a single origin show. You could have charged more.
A lot of white comedians could call themselves a single origin show.
Hey, that's right. There you go. So that's good. So if the billionaires come, they won't give you any money, but middle class people will want to flash their wealth.
They'll feel like they want to show off how much money they have because they have a job that isn't in the arts.
You're like the Tesla of the comedy festival.
Yes, exactly. And in actual fact, you should go after that Tesla bro style audience.
Yes.
Because they're idiots, right? But they'll spend their money.
Run the whole show off batteries.
Yes,
that's what you want to do.
exactly.
Batteries that explode at random intervals. That'd be very exciting.
Solar-powered show.
And full self-driving Matt Harvey that sort of constantly veers off to the left.
It would be very exciting
every so often
too.
I just hit someone
Because
in the
you'd
audience.
smash into the wall at regular intervals. I wouldn't know when that was going to happen.
Well, at least you'd kill.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
The Chaser Report.
Now with extra whispers.
No, but look, customer service is one of the things you're talking about. Have you had to be in the customer service industry? If so, my God, I'm going to pay you all the tiny amount of money that's in my bank account because that sucks.
So that's most of the jobs that I've done. So the quick pitch, the log line, I guess, is it's all about my old dodgy jobs, my $20,000 robo debt, and the time I broke a 100-year-old roller coaster. So that's the simple sell.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We better not. Damn, I want to hear how all those stories go on the podcast, but it seems unfair to get it off you for free.
Yeah.
And we should be paying what we feel.
Which roller coaster, or are we allowed to ask what roller coaster? Is that too secret?
I think through the process of the show, you can figure out which roller coaster it is. There are only so many 100-year-old roller coasters
It's clearly
in the world.
Clearly Luna Park.
And-
I'm not from Melbourne. I know which roller coaster it is.
But I try not to say too specifically. I mean, my old workplace, I do pay them out a fair bit in the show. And I'm just trying to avoid
What
issues.
is it like to work at Luna Park? Just apropos of nothing.
Apropos of nothing?
Yeah.
All right. So it depends on what time of my 9.5-year career you caught me. At the
gosh.
Yeah.
You
At the
went
beginning,
deep.
it was a lot of fun. And in the middle, it was pretty good because they would bring in new stuff. We'd do like scare attractions, and it was fun to do the scare attractions. You just sort of hide in there, jump out at people, boo, and children would try to
dress up
swing at you.
as Peter Dutton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be the Canberra experience. You just walk through Parliament House.
You just-
It'd be the prayer room. We go like, don't go in there. For the most part, it was like as terribly as the pay was, as terrible as the pay was, and as terrible as a retail experience can be, because during the summer you get a few thousand people a day coming through there, so inevitably someone's going to yell at you for something you didn't do. They threaten to go to Lindsay Fox, and I'd be like, oh great, I would love to hear what Lindsay Fox has to think about this low-level employee at a thing that he doesn't even really care about. That he's invested in, but he doesn't come by.
Does Lindsay Fox own Luna Park? How interesting. This is the billionaire
Yeah, he's an owner.
that can come to your show and not give you any money. Why not?
Yeah,
Lindsay, get along.
Or at least the family of Lindsay Fox. Like his children were pretty nice. His grandchildren, they had attitude.
Yeah,
they
right.
would always come in and be like, my grandfather owns this place. And if you knew who he was, you'd be like, how do you know who he is? And he's pretty famous. Like people know who your grandfather is.
And did they wear T-shirts saying you were passing another fox, just in case you missed it?
Just in case. No, not on that day, but there was an event that day. So
Wow.
I'm sure that they were dressed up.
I feel like Luna Park's one of those parks where if you paid what you want at the end, they would instantly go broke. It's like one of those things where you pay, because it's like $90 to get in nowadays. It's so
especially
expensive.
these days. 'Cause
And-
you used to be able to just walk in,
Yeah.
and then if you wanted to ride rides, you
Yeah,
paid
the
for a
Sydney one
stand.
works
But
Now
then
they
they
charge you
realised
entry.
that people were just walking in, then walking out.
Yeah, being underwhelmed.
They come in, use the bathroom, leave.
Yeah. But it's sort of one of those things where as the day goes on, your willingness to pay would just decrease. Like they're getting you at the optimal period of time, which is before you've actually seen Luna Park.
All right. You say that, but I used to do like 12-hour shifts. So you would see someone come in at the start of the day, very excited. And it's usually children, of course. But you'd see someone come in at the start of the day, super excited, and then you'd be there at the end of your shift, deflated, defeated, ready to throw it all in, 11 o'clock at night, shutting that gate. And those children would run up to you and they'd be like, why do we have to go? Like, because I want to go home, kid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. You might not be done, but I'm over it. I have to come back tomorrow morning. I'm down. I'm out. You have to leave.
And
so
that-
those kids, not that their parents would pay, but those are the ones.
Fairy floss.
They'd
I think
still be
that's a fairy
Yeah.
floss fueled.
Imagine the lows in the car on the way home. Wow, so 12-hour shifts. I mean, how did you survive? How do you survive 12 hours at Luna Park? I can't think of anything worse. Like screaming children. I love children, particularly my children.
Yeah.
But I reckon the cap's got to be 5 or 6 hours before literally you start being violent.
Oh, it's exhausting.
How did you keep the rage?
It's a lot of internal violence. You just learn not to take anything that anybody says beyond 6 hours too seriously.
Is that when you started loosening the
Did
bolts on the
you-
roller coaster about 7 hours into the shift? You got out the spanner.
Oh, I've got to get home somehow, right? You need the day to end.
Was it one of those
If you just
things
let
where
it
you
go.
noticed that where you lived was on a trajectory where if the roller coaster took off at the right point,
Yeah.
you could just fly home? Is that how it worked?
Well, we know through him showing up a lot that Dave Hughes lives in the area.
Oh.
And we think we've worked out roughly where he is. We probably could have hit his apartment
No?
if it took off on the wrong ankle.
I'm surprised he didn't try and buy it. Isn't that what he does? Doesn't he
Yeah.
just turn up to things and try and buy them?
Yep.
Hughesy?
He might. Well, at the very least, he'll climb in a bin out the front of it and tell people to go around him. I believe that's the only other cultural reference I have. For
Yeah. I thought he did that
Yeah.
one thing with the block that was incredibly crass. And that's the one. He seems like a lovely man otherwise, but that's the only thing I could think of.
No,
that.
hasn't he turned into a sort of anti-vaxxer?
Has he?
Far
Yeah, he's
right?
gone a bit.
he
off.
did go
I don't
a
know
bit-
if he's still like that.
He went
Yeah.
a bit nuts on Twitter during the pandemic, but the question is whether he still thinks that stuff now, because I think
Yeah.
basically everyone's
yeah,
2 years of tweets, particularly in Melbourne.
We
should
all
just
said
be
some regrettable
erased.
things. We all watched Tiger King.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, remember that.
I mean, what about Dave Milner's writing for the shot during that period and all the pathos and sympathy he wrote? Because I know you write for the shot as well.
Yeah.
The one person who probably peaked in empathy was Dave Milner.
Yeah, all the tears I shed for him as the
Yes.
sort of voice of Melbourne, I now completely regret being manipulated. Because Sydney's lockdown was better. I mean, we know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
It might have
better
been
weather.
shorter,
Better weather.
much more enjoyable, more
Yeah.
beaches.
Well, yeah, it was
Sorry.
much easier to get out and about. It was fun.
Yeah, all those pictures of everyone on the beach. I'm sure that went down very, very well. Right. So, look, I hope this works. Because otherwise you've got to go back to Luna Park. Is that right?
Oh,
Your
never.
new business
I don't
model
think
for
they'd
comedy?
even take me at this point, given the way my time there ended. I remember going off to New Zealand to do the festival show, having told them that I was going, and then they tried to call me to ask why I hadn't shown up to a shift. And this was like just before the pandemic. And I came back from New Zealand. I got called into a meeting, and the only reason that meeting didn't happen was because lockdown was just about to happen.
Oh,
so I feel like
amazing.
I was on the edge of being let go.
That is very lucky.
The lockdown actually saved me.
Yeah.
A little bit extreme to actually bring the pathogen into the country to just to get out of an awkward meeting with Lindsay Fox. But look, we all paid the price. Right. Well, look, I'm if the purpose is to pique our interest, I'm very keen to see this show. This sounds fantastic. Charles, on the scale that we pay our guests between 0 and 0, what should we pay Matt for this appearance on the podcast?
I feel like we give you the billionaires rate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Because then one day I'll run the company.
Go see Matt Harvey's Wage Against the Machine. It is on at Kaz Rytop's Dirty Secrets. Is that how you say it? Did I screw up the name of the venue?
Kaz Rytop's.
I know where that's on Smith Street.
Smith Street. Sounds
cool. In
Collingwood,
Collingwood, isn't it? Yeah.
It sounds so
That
Melbourne
is very
cool.
cool. It is. Is that the one that's painted black? Is that building painted black?
Yes, it is.
You know you're Melbourne, Charles. I'm impressed.
Yeah, no, it's a very trendy bar. Yeah.
We should also say that the pay what you feel is only Tuesday to Thursday. Regular prices on Friday through to Sunday because the man's got to eat.
Yeah, you got to eat.
Yeah, it's got
Exactly. Very, very good. Get on that. Are you doing it anywhere else?
I will be bringing it to Sydney, but unfortunately, I didn't get to control the pay model in Sydney. So there's fairly regular prices there.
Yeah,
but I'll be at the Sydney Comedy Festival on May 4th and 5th.
So pay what Matt's bookers feel you should pay for that one.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Very
Yeah,
good.
pay what Century says.
Great to see you. And we'll catch your writing on the Shot website as well. It says here that you work for The Shovel. I can't believe, Charles, we got someone from The Shovel. I feel really honoured.
This is
It's such a funny website.
This is royalty.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. All right. All the best with the rest of the run, Matt. Thanks for being on.
No, thank you.
Our gear is from Road. We're part of the Iconoclast Network.